process has started. Hey everyone, my name is Dan Candler, and I will be starting a new interview process for Candler Creative Community. None of it is scripted, none of it is planned. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, so I have no idea how it's going to go. But I see value in it. I think it will be amazing for the community and for the individuals of the community who we help and who helps us. I think what I want to get from this is to really understand creatives, just to get them to understand who they are and why they're doing what they're doing, so then they can then move forward in a direction that means something true to them. So we're going to get started. Our first person that we are interviewing is Zeeny. She is an amazing individual. She's an actress and she's wanted to get into modeling. So she came to us for help, and we've helped her along this process. We did an initial photo shoot, which was her first ever professional photo shoot. We got a team together. We showed her how to work in a team and how to work in a photo shoot. We've just recently, just before this call, been speaking about the email process of how to email agents and what to look out for, and just the next stages of Zeeny's path into the modeling world. So I'm going to invite Zeeny in now, and then Zeeny's going to give an introduction, and then away we go. Boom. Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, Zeeny, how you doing? You all right?
I do very well, Dan. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I gave a small kind of introduction just before you joined of who you are, but I'd love you to give your own interpretation of yourself. So please can you tell me who you are, what you do, take it away.
Okay, let's see if our stories match. Did Dan listen before? No, okay. So basically, I am Zeeny. I'm 36 years old, and when people usually ask about my background, they hear that I've kind of done everything. I come from mostly a scientific background, doing forensic science, working in the medical field, things like that. But I'm actually very, very right-brained. I'm very, very creative. So what I started doing was things like interior design, because it's a very, very creative side for me. And as stressful as it was, it's something that I really, really enjoyed doing because it's a form of expression for me. And I loved the results that I would get from it. And I've started to explore more about my creative side, what I really enjoy doing. So I've worked in the TV and film industry, being a supporting artist, being a stand-in, being a double. And one of the other things that I've kind of always wanted to do is modeling, because it is another form of expression in some way. And that is what I've actually started doing now, just working on all these creative sides. And plus there's so many other ideas that I have about wanting to be creative, on a bigger scale. So that's
so sick. Yeah. It's so interesting. I think we've been so focused on the whole you becoming a model. I met you as an essay, as an extra on that ridiculous boat. but it's so interesting. Because we've been in this creative world, you told me about your past of your mainly about your interior design stuff. I don't think we've ever really touched on your forensic science side of things, and that's really interesting. And I want to go a little bit further into that. Like, what made you? Okay. First, what made you want to get into that kind of side of things? Okay. That's so sick.
You're gonna laugh at this. I didn't know what I wanted to do at university. I was doing my A-levels. I was mostly doing science, biology, chemistry, psychology. I love all that kind of stuff. It's me. I love my sciences. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Maybe I wasn't getting the grades for medicine, but then, which is something that I was passionate about doing. But then Dad was watching something on TV and it was CSI. And I watched one episode. I was like, Dad, I want to be that. And then I looked for universities. I found great universities that were doing it. I picked Derby because not only was it a great university for forensic science, it was quite well known, it was also near Alton Towers. So I picked that uni and I got chosen. And I friggin' loved it. And I want to say something about this because very many people think that for 3 years, we just dust for prints. That's not what it is. Forensic science it's like several degrees in one. It's forensics, it's law, it's, biology, chemistry, psychology. It's all of that entailed in one. And it was so amazing to do. I absolutely loved it. But when I was in there, I found more passion in the biology side of it. And I thought from there, I could probably go on to do medicine, which is something that I did eventually start pursuing. I worked in the medical sector. This is why people think, well, you've done a bit of everything. Not only did I do that, I also did psychology. So I became a therapist as well. Got that under my belt. So all these feathers
Fantastic.
in my cap. But I mean, to be honest, Dan, I feel that somewhere deep inside me, there's always a calling to want to help people in some way or other. I don't know what way. And that's why all of the things have done that, whether even it's inspiring people in some way,
No, totally. I think even like looking at that forensic side of things, there's like the way I see creativity is so much more than just being an artist or being a dancer or a model or whatever. Like creativity is everywhere. Like everything is creativity because you're creating pathways to do something. And in forensic science and all of that stuff, you're having to create you're having to create a thought process to understand something. And it's almost like that, it's like that idea of understanding something. It's almost like you got into the science and all of that stuff, and it's understanding how something happened. I mean, fucking tell me if I'm wrong, but how something has happened and finding the cause of it and all of that. And it's almost like that kind of almost was embedded in your brain from the get-go anyway, of like wanting to figure that out. It's the same as me. Like I've throughout my whole life, that's why this is why I feel like I've wanted to do this, and why I've got to where I am, because I've seen my past, and I've always wanted to understand my reality. And I think everyone is in some sense wanting to understand why they're here and stuff. But I really wanted to understand, like, who the hell am I? Like, why? Because I was I went through stuff as a child, which made me quite aggressive, and I went through different therapy and all this stuff, and it made and I think through all that, subconsciously, it was like this me trying to understand, okay, why is this aggression there? Why is this here? It's almost like that for yourself. Like, you were in the academic field, you did all this scientific stuff and all this, but it's like, you went into something where you were trying to figure out stuff, and then it was almost like it turned around where you were trying to figure out yourself.
100%. Yeah.
So okay, cool. So then you went from that, and you went into more biology. What was next for you?
Well, what, from the medical sector, you mean?
Yeah. So like, what you just said, so with the medical sector and stuff, like what was the process after that?
After that, do you know what, Dan? When I was in the medical sector, it's because I'm triggering off something that you said as well. It's about finding yourself. It wasn't until within the medical sector, I actually had a nervous breakdown. There was so much going on. And, I was affected so much. I think for a majority of my life, I've actually been bullied in some way from young you know, throughout my years up until my 30s, I would say, probably from the age of 4 till about 30.
Yeah,
And
wow.
it was within that nervous breakdown that happened in my very late 20s, that's when I realized, okay, I need to get this sorted out. And so I went into therapy. I progressed, but it wasn't until I left my last relationship at the age of 30, which was heavily toxic, that I just became anew, and I started delving into the point that you made, which is learning more about myself. And that's when I escalated humongously. It's an exponential growth phase that I went through. And a lot of people around me, my closest, my nearest and dearest, my family, realized that I was different, but in a really good way. And I was becoming more healthy. My mindset was more on a growth mindset level. And the company that I ended up working for after, you know, becoming a therapist, you know, wanting to help other people, was very much on that same basis. And I joined that company, and I started helping others grow exponentially with their mindset of growth mindset. So I feel that I'm still there, like you, Dan. I'm on still a journey of learning about myself right now, which is far better, you know, and I feel much, much stronger mentally than ever before. I mean, for example, when it comes to something that we all fear in life, which is rejection, for example, whether it be from a modeling agency, whether it be in a partner relationship, a job, or whatever.
Yeah.
As much as that would usually hurt me, and it does hurt a lot of people, everyone fears it. This is an opportunity where I think, okay, I'm not going to let rejection hurt me. I'm going to think of it as, okay, not a problem. It's an opportunity for something bigger to come into my life.
Exactly.
An old version of myself would have collapsed, but this new version of myself that I'm continually developing allows me to embrace it and think, let it flow. And that has allowed me to be in a stronger mentality and state to, I don't even know if I answered the question.
No, it's fine. This, you know what, this is what this whole interview thing is about. I even said before we kind of spoke, like, this is just all free. Like, I'm just, you know, even we spoke before, like, you know, you've never done anything like this. I've never done anything like this. And I think there's some, yeah, like we said, like, there's some beauty in that. But going back onto, you know, I think, you know, going off of what you were saying with the whole, with the bullying and it was like, I got bullied for quite a while, and I think it's interesting. You know, people, I find it's almost like people, you know, people who have been bullied and been somewhat scarred in that sense, almost go on a direction of helping people because they see, it's almost like whether it is subconscious or whether it is purposeful, it's, you know, it's a reflection of what has happened to them.
Yeah.
And they don't, and it's, you know, like, it's almost like, you know, you go back to that, it's like you don't want that to happen in the world.
Absolutely.
So how can I use my weirdness and my, you know, and again, this is I'm trying to think, and like, even that this could be a subconscious thing, a thing in deep embedded in the mind, with these people who go through struggle and stuff, of, like, you know, like, it's just something, okay, like, how can I make this not happen in the world using my weird skills and my weird personality that I just never even knew I had. And, you know, for all the stuff that you may potentially have been bullied for, or whatever, you're probably using today to help people or to make people aware, or so yeah, it's interesting that pathway. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought, but
I mean, I completely get it. I mean, if I may also add to that point as well, another thing that you've just triggered a thought is, you know, those of us who do go through certain forms of trauma, obviously we want to make sure that it doesn't happen to anyone else. I think it's another form of humanity, and I think that's really beautiful if we can help.
But we don't say that though. We don't know that. And we don't know that. And it's not until you get to a place of understanding and seeing your past of the journey that you get to this place of, you know, whether it is just helping someone like minorly or whatever, but you see, like, once you see that and you can be open to that and be aware, like it can only move you forward in a you know, a peaceful light for yourself.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree.
Mm.
And I think one other aspect of, you know, for example, what I want to do and why I want to do it right now is because I generally come from a culture that I wouldn't say prohibits women in say, or I don't know what the word is, because I don't want to, I don't want to be judgmental. I want to understand.
Yeah,
I
just
understand
speak
that I
your
come
truth.
from, yeah, I'll say I come from a Muslim background. I do not practice the religion myself, but that is a background that I was obviously born into. And obviously with our
Were
culture, and
you
I think,
so sorry to cut you off.
like,
I just
yeah,
want to make it clear just for so were you born in the UK or were you
yes.
born? Yeah, you were born in the UK. Cool.
Yes,
So I just wanted to
I
make
was,
that
but
clear.
yeah,
Just
that's fine. Yeah, no, just so people understand, I was born in the UK. My parents came over from Pakistan, so and obviously they have, you know, built in the culture of how Pakistanis are. And just to clarify, very many people think that Pakistanis and Indians are the same. We are not. Don't tell them that we're the same, because they'll be able to clash there. Okay, for nothing.
wow.
But basically, our cultures are very different because our belief systems are very different, and you know, there is a big difference there. Now we come from what I've understood and my perspective from my travels to Pakistan in 2010, I saw a very different way that women were. I mean, they are happy in themselves, and I'm happy if they're happy, but I was not happy there because I felt I wasn't free to be myself. That is how I feel. I do not say that that is truth. I just say that is how I felt. And one of the things that I have, you know, been part of, you know, especially with my mother, who is deeply religious in Islam, is that they want to, we are, let's say, I say it as it is. I feel hidden. I feel protected for my safety, which I love, but at the same time, it doesn't allow me to be who I want to be. I couldn't express how I wanted to express. I can't say things. I can't dress in a certain way. I can't be a certain way. And I felt that I was being held back from being something that is free. I didn't feel free. And this is something that I want to do, not only for myself, but, you know, other girls who are of this culture, you know, in a certain way, who feel that I feel the exact same way. I feel I can't be who I'm meant to be, who I want to be, because my culture, maybe, you know, the religious beliefs of my parents are holding me back. We do it out of fear and out of respect, and you don't want to anger, because obviously it's your parents, it's your family. I mean, I am blessed being a Pakistani girl from that culture, that I have a really understanding, open-minded family who support and love what I do and accept me for who I am. But there are some people who don't. Now, this is something that I relate to with other girls within our culture, and that's where I start from. But I would also like to say, down on top of that, I don't limit it to just them. I want to be able to help inspire others who want to be free of something, whether it's free of a relationship, whether it's free of a stereotype, whether it's free of a job. You know, I want to inspire anyone who wants to be free of a certain situation to be free, and to be able to express, be you in your truest fucking form. I'm gonna swear, because that's it.
That's it.
Just
Swear as
be
much as you need
you,
to.
and, you know, and support you, and, you know, be surrounded by the people who would support you in that. I know you, Dan, you support me in something like that. That's why I have you in my circle. This is why I share things with you, and I support you in turn for you to be able to do that. And I think that's what humanity is. Loving and supporting each other without judgment. You know, be free to express yourself in whatever way. And I am, one of the things that I wanted to do, because, dare I say, I am comfortable being completely naked. I wanted to do a naked photo shoot because I want to be able to know, you know what, fuck this shit, fuck the stereotypes. I want to be me.
Totally. And that was going to be my next thing, you know, listening to what you just said, which was very powerful. It almost, you can almost now see that, you know, the academic side and that kind of side of things was almost you trying to stick to that norm of your of your culture, by being constrained from letting your inner creativity and your inner freedom out.
Yeah.
And it's you can, I mean, you know, even from that you can see it so clear as day why you want to do the things you want to do with the acting, and, you know, especially the nudity, like you just said, like that vulnerableness and that openness of just being completely and utterly free, inwards and outwards. You know what I mean? You can see that now. And yeah, there was something I was trying to find. There was what you were saying about, you know, not feeling free and stuff. I tend to write when I see quotes or I hear quotes or whatever, like I think is relevant to either myself, reality, or whatever. I note it down. And I think there was a philosopher called Jean Jacques. You know what? I'm not even going to pronounce the name because I'm so dyslexic. But it says, "Man was born free, and everywhere he is in chains." And, you know, because we are born into this world of free spirit, not knowing anything. And then the more we go through life, the more that gets almost taken away, whether it is subconscious or whether it's out there for the world, whether it's and it, you know, there's ways that the world has repressed our feelings and our true freedom. You know, I spoke to you on the last call about this magazine that I'm doing, and it's about men. It's about so the magazine is for women, to highlight women, but they do a special about men, which I'm doing, and I'm doing a little piece on. And it's interesting to even, because what you were saying about feeling this inner, like, you know, this inner feeling of not being able to release your freedom. And it's interesting from, like, say, and I'm on, like, my point of view, on, like, say, for a male, that's almost the same kind of feeling for emotions. It's hard, you know, throughout time, you know, we have been repressed as men to be strong and to be an individual, you know, powerful, and, you know, and not show signs of weakness. And I think almost for, you know, for your culture and yourself in that culture is a sense of wanting to be free. And it's almost like what I've felt recently with myself and my freedom is like almost freeing myself from that idea. Even, and again, it's very subconscious, because I've always felt emotional, and I've always felt quite free with myself. But it is almost, I felt recently that I've had to, like, let myself go from that inner male masculinity, or and understand who I am, to allow myself to be free. And yeah, I can't remember where I was really going to go with this, but I think, but just, I know I tend to do that quite a lot. I go on, like, points, and I talk and then I go, wait, where was I going? But no, that's really, but everything that was really powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that as well. So it kind of, I mean, that kind of explains really, like, you know, what we were saying, why you want to get into, because, you know, when we did the shoot, we did, you know, we did lingerie, we did a lingerie section and a fitness section. Okay, so the lingerie, I see why you want to go into the lingerie side and into the nudity side, definitely. Fitness wise, let's talk a little bit about that. Why did you want to do a fitness shoot with us?
Honestly, because I would love to be hired by Nike. I want to be.
Why though? Why do you want to be hired by Nike?
Well, you know what? Because I mean, I do wear their stuff. I love their stuff. I go to the gym. I go and exercise. So the garments that I usually wear are theirs. You know, I don't know. I don't know. With my creative side, it's very weird. With with, you know, like picking certain things. I'm gonna tell you a little something. Do you ever have it when you're listening to a certain song, like, you know, on your iPhone and stuff like that, and you're imagining how you would use it in something creative, like an advert or something for yourself, or does that ever happen to you?
I trained as a dancer, so whenever I hear
Yeah,
music, all I do is
it's
like,
true.
like even when I've got my headphones on, I'll look at people down the street and I'll put a little tune to, like, I'll listen to the beat and I'll try and like see if they're walking to the beat, and then I'll like kind of like pretend that they're kind of like listening to the music, or like, you know what I mean? Or like, even if you look around, like, or if I look around at like trees
Yeah.
or some, like, I will always try and find a beat to go with something that I'm listening to. I've
Okay.
always thought the same. I've always thought like, what is does everyone else think like this? And I'm sorry, yeah, carry on. That's so sick.
In a way, yes. I mean, with me, there are certain tunes that I've come across and I create like an advert in my head, and all the adverts for some reason have been for Nike. So I was like, okay, so there's something going on there. I've got a link to Nike. Maybe it's also their slogan, just do it. Just effing do it, you know, just get on with it.
That's interesting. That is
So
interesting. You've been drawn to a message um from a company, business, brand, whatever the fuck, you know, saying just do it, and it's like it's
it's
been
criminal
embedded
as
into
well.
you. Just do it,
Yeah.
just do it, just do it, just do your inner freedom. You know, become free within yourself.
Yeah.
And now you're doing it, and that is that's amazing. That's so sick.
Definitely a testimony to them. I mean, I feel that you know, I do, you know, fitness myself as well. I thought that if I was going to ever do it, I still feel somewhere I'm going to end up making an advert for Nike, not being in it, but actually creating it with the music that I have chosen. I feel like I've rehearsed it so much in my head that it's going to have to come into fruition somehow. You know, it's
Mm.
part of throwing it out there into the universe and allowing it to come to you. I have no idea how it's going to happen, but I feel that you never know. But I've got to also take the steps myself in order to get there. And you know, I love Nike, so
Mm.
it's just it
When did
is.
you think? When did you see the um? When did you see this idea of Nike come about? Like, when did you start getting such an interest in Nike, which then led you to then wanting to explore the fitness side?
I think when I first joined the gym.
Oh, I look fucking good. I can definitely pull off Nike.
I know, can I be honest with you? I started my very first gym I ever went to, and I was opposed to going to the gym, was Gymbox. And obviously their marketing is freaking hilarious. I love their marketing, how they do everything. And of course they have amazing classes. And one of the classes was commercial dance. So the more I started doing that as well, it was almost like it was blending together. Then I would hear certain songs, and then I was, you know, thinking about my dance routine that I was doing in commercial dance. And even the people that were in commercial dance, like the instructor, he is in the Nike advert doing it. My pole instructor is in the Nike advert doing it.
Mm,
It's just all blending together. I've never really thought of it
mm,
until you've said. I was like, holy shit, actually, yeah, all those people are in it. You know,
mm.
the where
It's
Cheryl's doing the
subliminal as
pole.
well. It's like it's all subliminal as well.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? You know, maybe like your psyche like sees this message of like just do it, and you're not even thinking about it. Like, you're not even thinking about that side of things, but you go to the gym, you know, you've just done it, you've gone to the gym, and you see all these subliminal messages, maybe the guy that's in the Nike advert, or don't know whatever it is. And then all of a sudden it's like an epiphany.
yeah,
Oh my God, just do it.
yeah. Just do it.
Just do it. And yeah, oh, that's really cool. Um, So I had questions, but I've not followed any of these bloody questions. I had like loads of things, but that's what I think this is what this needs to be about. Just free, just free and open, just a discussion, just to talk about yeah, like who is Zeeny, like who is Zeeny. And I really do truly feel that like you're on a path of of true self-discovery and inner peace. Yeah, which is amazing. When did you start your acting journey?
2018.
This is also going to have to be quick, guys. This is our last 10-minute. We're on a 10-minute call. We've got a 10-minute call. Yeah, no, I want to quickly hear about where you started your acting journey.
2018.
And we'll finish up. 2018. Wow.
Yeah, that
Fantastic.
was it. And bizarrely enough, can you believe that I was obviously, because I love to dance as well, I started adult ballet classes, and it was a girl in there. I said, you know what, I really want to be on like a film set. And she said, oh, I've done acting, and you can be an extra. And I was like, do I need qualifications? She said, oh, no, just go to these agencies. I did, and it started there. So, and from there, I just discovered more about, how things work. And, I can never watch a movie or a TV film the same again, because a TV series the same again, because I'm thinking, how many shots was that? How many fucking extras did they have to dress up? That must have been normal.
Which extra is going to fuck up?
Continuity.
Oh God.
You know what, you know what, I'm going to be honest, it's lovely to see the people that you've worked with on other things, like, oh, I saw you in this, you look great. And it's just, again, it's a form of creativity, because you've got to dress the scene in a sense, so you've got to make it and you've got to act it out. And so it is a form of that. And I really, really friggin' loved it. I absolutely loved it. Then I got to do stand-in work, which I loved. I got to do doubling, which I loved. And and then like I said, it's through this process that I've thought, I want to go into acting and I want to go into modeling. So I'm doing both. I'm doing.
Well, you can see the transition into modeling. You can see you can almost see the transition of how you kind of got to modeling. Like the acting side and the essay work was the first initial step for you to see the world of I would like to say creative freedom, because you're putting yourself out there. You're doing things that you put yourself forward for. You know what I mean? Like, you want to do this, so I'm going to do this. And that first step of allowing yourself to do what you want and be your own individual, allows you to then see even more true freedom in allowing yourself to model and do nude lingerie shoots. And you can see that process, which is I think it's magical. I think it's beautiful, being able to just being aware and being able to understand that process, and just having an outside view on your individuality. So you can see how special you are, and see your journey, and see what an incredible human being you are. We've got 5 minutes left.
Yep.
So yeah, it was a nice quick one. Well, it seems quick. I had so much fun that it seems really quick, but I had a great time. So I guess now I'd like to. And also, I guess I don't know if you want to let people know about the people that you may have just.
Oh yes, I just wanted to just say that obviously through your help and everything that you did for me, helping me, create a portfolio, understand my goals as well, help me gain clarity of where I want to go, how I want to get there, all of these things, and obviously your team as well. With the power of all of you, I was able to go to a modeling agency called Ugly Models, and I just got accepted from them.
Honestly, so excited. This is the start of your freedom and the start of your journey in this new world. And I'm truly excited for you. Me and the team, like all of us who have helped you, like we're there for you, and like we're so buzzing to see kind of where you take this. This is your journey, and you need to do this on your own. But like, I'm just so excited that we're allowed to that you're allowing us to kind of just like, guide you and just kind of be alongside you on this journey until you can kind of just like let your inner wings fly free. And
honestly, I couldn't have done it without you. You guys made me feel. You just made me feel safe. secure. You taught me so much, all of you, every one of you. Not one of you judged me when I was thinking, what the hell do I do? Do I look stupid? What do I do here? All you guys did was just help me and embrace me and just, send out that love and that energy of, look, we're here to support you. Whatever it is that you want, we're going to help you and guide you. And I couldn't have asked for a better team on the day. So I want to thank all of you, for being there and helping me, because these are the stepping stones, and if you give me a push up, I'm truly grateful for it. And I hope that there are many more people out there who are able to come to you to be able to do that as well, because to help and give back to others is one of the most beautiful things that we can do in humanity.
I completely agree. And I can't thank you enough for those kind words, Zeeny. Honestly, it really does mean a lot. I completely agree with you. I think if one person can help another person without any thinking about themselves and just wanting to help someone just because, I just want to help, I think you can create a ripple effect of positivity and loving energy, and that can only bring goodness and positivity. So absolutely. Yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey, Zeeny, and thank you for being the first ever person I've ever interviewed, or had, or the start. That you are the start of this journey, and I can't thank you enough for helping me out as well. Thank you so much, Zeeny. Have an amazing rest of your day, and to everyone who's listened or watched, thank you so much for watching. You're all amazing. We are all amazing. Loving energy. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. Peace out, guys. Sweet.
Thanks very much, Dan. See you later.